everyone. Welcome back to Someday I'll Have a Podcast. Thank you for clicking on this episode. I truly believe if you clicked on this, there's something in here that you were meant to hear. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being open to listening to me ramble. Basically, what Someday I'll Have a Podcast is just kind of like a stream of conscious like journal entry on each different topic that I feel like talking about. It's very lightly edited, and it just was born because I always would go on these like rants on like Instagram stories or just to my friends or whatever and be like, someday I'm gonna have a podcast. And we just have to make our some days today, because otherwise someday never comes. So that's what I did with this podcast. So thank you for being here and joining along, hopefully enjoying, hopefully hearing something that you like. Recently, I found this video of myself while I was clearing out my phone, talking into the camera, talking about how I was at a full moon festival and we were in a drum circle and all the stuff, and it was late at night and we were getting sweaty, and I was like, I don't want to put my hair up. I want my hair down, but I'm sweating so much. And I was like, why can't I just take off my shirt? Like, I wish I could have just taken off my shirt in that setting, right? Basically, to say, why are women in our society, why is it not deemed okay for us to just like get naked when we're sweating, as where men, you just see them walking around with their nips out all the time, like on the beach, sometimes at work if they're like, on the roof hammering some shit in, they do that. So I feel like I just wanted to talk about like being naked, what I feel about it, why do we stigmatize it, all these things. And I remember too, when I was in high school, I think it was high school, it had to be high school, and I was in art class. We talked about the different definitions between naked and nude, because there is a difference. The connotation, at least, there is a difference. So naked often implies shame or guilt, and often as reflected or in relating to Bible stories, the biblical texts, and other religious texts as well. Of like Adam and Eve were naked, and because of the, eating the apple or whatever it was, they were shamed into like putting leaves on their bodies. Just so funny, because I'm like, they must have been master creators, because literally, have you ever tried to like tie leaves together and make an outfit? I don't think I have, but it sounds difficult if you really break it down. Besides the point. And nude is simply wearing no clothes with nothing covering you up. It doesn't have the same implications or connotations as the word naked. And I remember learning that in art class and taking that with me, because I'm like, that is very intriguing. Same thing with like, you're going for like a nude look with makeup. Like, it's generally just means like it looks like there's no coverage. It's just more subtle and whatever. I just gotta ask you, have you ever skinny dipped? Like, seriously, have you ever gotten in water, like, naked, with no bathing suit, nothing? Because that shit is so freeing. Like, just floating in the water, letting the water, like, touch you, being in that. Honestly, let's even back it up. Have you ever taken a shower? Have you ever taken a bath? Have you ever been in a bathtub and just, like, floated in the water, like, naked or nude, I suppose? It feels good. Like, it feels like that's what we were meant to do. And also, we have to consider, like, when we were in the womb, we were so nude and we were floating around in all those fluids. And, like, that is, like, the first state of being we ever felt. Like, it's so freeing. And I encourage you, like, maybe I'm just saying this and I'm hyped up about this because last weekend I was at a girls' weekend and we skinny dipped late at night in the lake. But listen, that shit felt so good to just be completely enveloped in water with nothing like blocking it. It's a good feeling. It's freeing. Freeing is the way, like the word that just like keeps coming up. Like, that's the way that I feel. It's like, it's freeing. And I think it comes down to like sexualization of our bodies. Obviously, I feel like women's bodies more so than men's. And maybe that's just because I'm coming from a perspective of being a woman. But also the fact that, it is socially acceptable for a man to be shirtless completely, without a bra, without a bralette, without a sports bra, just like naked from the waist up, which is cool or whatever. But like, why can't we do that? And sure we can, but then we'll end up with fines or in jail with multiple charges of public indecency and what's the other word? Like sex offender stuff. Like, that's not cool. So I just wonder, like, why do we sexualize women's breasts? Like, they're literally just another body part. And why is it that it's literally a life-giving organ? So, like, that obviously connects to like people freaking out about like women breastfeeding in public. And I'm like, why are we literally freaking out about a woman's breast when it's literally giving life to another human being? Like, what is it about that? And so then I started thinking, okay, wait, let me let me circle back a little bit. I was reading an article from CNN because I was like, I can't be the only one that feels this way. Obviously, I'm not. This is like a huge topic of public discussion, but there was a quote in this CNN article that says, many times you will see more cleavage in the name of fashion than you ever would from a mom feeding her child. And that was, who said that? I just want to give credit where credit is due. Ray Von Lee, who was a breastfeeding mother, made that was her quote. And it really is so crazy to think about, because like, I imagine like if a man had the ability to do that, like, would he be chastised for doing that in public? Probably not. But I guess we won't know ever because we live in this society that's created this way. So like, why are we like this? And why, I feel like, personally, I feel like my opinion is that we are still living by the rules that men made up. So let's think about this. Cleavage is appeared to be like sexy, and it's like, ooh, like boobs, yeah. And so it's acceptable. But yet when breastfeeding, because it isn't like conventionally attractive, so we shouldn't see it in public, but yet it's fine to like literally walk out with your boobies hanging out, because like in the name of fashion. That's really, honestly, like, this, why is it this way? And why can't we get to a point where it's like, I will just be a free woman and walk around at the beach, like topless? Like, why? Like, genuinely, I feel like I would love to like reach an answer here, but I can't seem to find one. I just feel like I can't help but it's the year 2024, and we're still being controlled by the ideas of men that really have no basis to their decisions. So like, do you see what I mean? Like, why is there this like this double standard of like, not only men can do it but women can't, but like it's fine when it's like a sexy little dress, but not when like a woman literally is like feeding her child in public? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you see why it's becoming an issue here? And I know that I sound like a crazy, like, wild left winger, but like, seriously, ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself why you buy into what you buy into. Why do you believe what you believe, and why do you follow certain standards or rules or societal standards? Why do you follow them? Is it just because, you don't want to be chastised? And also, like, I kind of touched on this earlier, but it's because we're not really given the choice. Because if I were to decide to literally go to the beach and only wear bikini bottoms, or only wear, even let's say I wore the same outfit a man wore, like if I wore like long like board shorts with like my titties out, no top, I could literally get arrested. Like, so it's the fact that we aren't even given the option. We aren't even given that freedom. And it's like, but who decided that? Who wrote these laws? I would love to know. Maybe I should let me do some Googling. Who wrote the laws that state women cannot be topless in public? What am I doing? According to WHNT.com, News 19, women can now legally go topless in 6 states after federal ruling. What 6 states, though? Okay, it says a federal court ruling, this is in 2019, a federal court ruling over a ban on women going topless in public has essentially made it legal for women to go topless in Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico, Kansas, and Oklahoma. That seems like the most random like states, but I'll roll with it. The only thing that is frustrating is like, even with the legal ability to do this, I know deep in my heart that does not come without its own consequences. So even if I was in Colorado walking topless down the street, even hanging out topless like in my own front yard, or whatever the case may be, at the pool, at the park, at the beach, wherever, it would still become a big issue. It would still say, like, people would still be arguing, that's inappropriate for my kids to see, or being catcalled by men in the area or women, you know, whatever, being harassed, being sexually harassed because of that decision. Like, how can we move forward as a society? And I definitely think that like this case, for example, is making a step in the right direction, but it's so unfortunate that these are the things that are so deeply like rooted in our biases and our like internalized inequalities for women. It's just like very unfortunate that even with these steps in the right direction, we may never see a time where it is an equal playing field just in this little tiny little corner of the big picture. You know what I mean? So to circle back to being naked, I feel like this sort of ties into the witch trials of like the 1500s in Europe. And again, I sound crazy, but like when people, but specifically men, started freaking out about women being independent and making their own decisions and choices, and that included, you know, being the crazy naked lady down the street in her farm and like having her own like say and like being alone and be like, you know what I mean? It's all part of that. Like, I just feel so powerful and unstoppable when I am naked, and this sounds so crazy, but why is it something that we stigmatize? I literally walk around my house naked like 6 of the 7 days a week. Like, I feel more productive, I feel safe, and I feel powerful, it's comfortable, and like it's just an unfortunate situation that like we may never get to the point of this actual equality. And even if we did, it would still be an issue for some people. And that's what I feel like, looking at the big picture, that's the way it is for a lot of things. Like, even if we can push things into the Supreme Court and make changes for like our legal rights for a lot of things, we will never see like that equal playing field. And honestly, I didn't even mean to turn this into like a big political, like feminist, like rant really at all. I kind of just wanted to talk about like the power of being naked and how like it makes me feel powerful, and like I should feel like I can be free in like certain situations and like not be judged or looked down on or chastised for feeling comfortable, especially when I'm not making it sexual. You're making it sexual for me. And that's the other thing, is like it's unfortunate because it's like there are so many times that and I mean our as in like every single person. I don't mean it as like women. I don't mean it as like a certain like demographic. It's like our decisions are so often like judged and ridiculed by everyone around us, and it's like, why do we live that way? Like, why are we in this realm of hostility all the time? Like, seriously. And that's another reason that I love going to like festivals and events, that I am surrounded by like-minded people, because it's like, not saying I'm like moving into like a nudist colony, but there's less of that judgment. Like, I don't know. So I guess at the end of the day, do what you freaking want to do, but be careful, because so that you don't end up in jail for it. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, but it's definitely something I wanted to talk about, because seriously, being naked is so freeing. Being nude, nude. Because naked implies shame and guilt, and I have none of that for my body. Sing it with me, baby. So anyway, thanks for coming into this short little episode. I'm going to do my favorite segment of the show now, where I go to my Spotify account and I look at what has been on repeat, what I've been playing over and over again on the playlist that Spotify makes me. And this week is, I should have known, and I don't know why I even looked, All Time Low, my favorite band, released a re-recording of their most famous hit, Dear Maria Count Me In. So it is now available. Dear Maria Count Me In, All Time Low's version, kind of like a play on the whole Taylor Swift thing. It's available on Spotify, and I'll link it in the show notes as always, but it's really good. It's just kind of like a more like, almost like a more punk version of their hit Dear Maria Count Me In. And also, literally, you guys, I had the craziest experience with All Time Low. Like, I literally got on stage and sang some shit with them. It was insane, and you can find it on my YouTube channel. So if you don't follow me over there, make sure to check it out at Living Large with L Crew. That was a crazy time, and of course, I recommend these high energy songs. So And if you want to support me as a creator in any way, all of the links to my channel and my Instagram and all these other things will be linked in the show notes. And once again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you found something new, that you want a different way of thinking. I hope you decide to go skinny dipping one of these days, or even just like lay in the bathtub and enjoy yourself. Take back your power, okay? You are a powerful being. You were born nude and you'll freaking die nude. So it is what it is. And thanks for listening. Thanks for chatting with me. I'm going to extend the conversation. I want to extend this to you. So message me, DM me with all of your thoughts and feelings about nakedness, nudeness, and how we can move forward as a society, okay? Let's all be comfortable and powerful together. Thank you for clicking on this podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.